Hi everyone, it's Sorkin. Today we have a LeetCode problem where we are given a single-threaded CPU and we execute a program containing n functions. So each function has its own unique ID between 0 and the n minus 1. For example, let's say that if n is equals to 2, then we have two functions, right? With the ID of the 0 and the 1. And what also we have is we have as an input, we have number of the functions. So we have one CPU, so one CPU, right? And the one CPU, we are executing a program that has n functions, right? That has n functions. In this case, in this example, we have two functions. Also, what else we are given? We are given the logs, right? We are given the logs of that program. So, for example, in this case, the program with the ID of the 0, with the ID, the first one is the ID, right? The first one is the ID. We are given an array of the strings. So the first one, the first value in the string is the ID. Second one, whether that function starts or ends. And also the 0 is the time, right? Time when it starts that function or the time when that function ends. So for example, in this case, the function with the ID of 0 starts at 0. Function with the ID of 1 starts at the time 2, right? The function with the idea of the 0 here, this is 1 and this is 0. It starts at 1, then and it ends at it doesn't end at 1, but it stops at the 1, and at 1 another function, right? This function, let's say 0 calls 1 and the 1 starts to execute, and the function with the ID 1 starts to execute for time units, and after that again our the function with the ID 0 proceeds. So in this case, so what should we give as an output? As an output, as a result, we should give that how much time it took for each function to execute. Again, in this case, from the function 0, we are calling function 1, and after function 1 is ended, then we are proceeding with the function 0. As a result, so what we have in this case, function 0, right? It starts with it executes two time units, and then at the end it executes one time unit, right? Plus 1. As a result, so what we have 3, and the function with the ID of 1 executes 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 time units, right? So 4 as a result, so we are returning an array with the size of our functions, which means that the 0 and the 1 and how much time for each one of them took to execute. So for the function 0, it took to execute 3 time units, and for function 1, it took 4 time units to finish its work. So as a solution, the solution is pretty straightforward. So what we do is we are using a stack. So again, in any programming language, it's also executed using a stack data structure. So what are we doing here, right? So again, so what are we doing? In Java, so we are creating a stack, and also we are creating a result with the size of n that we are going to return, right? The size n, so we are for the function with the ID 0, so the value will be here 3, the first value, right? And the second for the function 1, the time units will be 4. So we are going to return in this particular scenario, right? In this particular example, we are going to return the result. We'll have these two variables here, stack and the result. And so what we do first, so first one is that it's a log, so which means that it's a consecutive values, right? So which means the log exactly show us that when each function starts, so which means that it comes one after another. So if the first function started, then the log for the second function is 2. So so we are starting with the first one. Then the second one shows us that either the first function completed or the first function called the second function. Let's go. I think that it will be more clear as we go over the solution. So what we are doing here, so we are taking the first log, the first value, right? And we are pushing to our stack. So our execution starts, and because of the we have already pushed that to our stack, so we are setting the value not to 0 I, right? So the number of the each value for the log. So we are not setting that to the 0, we are setting that to 1. So we are setting that to 1. So what we do here? So while I is less than the log size, so which means that until we have processed all the logs, we are going so we are executing our while loop, right? So the first one, so what we do, the first case is that if our stack is empty, we just no questions, so we are taking the whatever the I value is, and we are pushing to our stack, and we are incrementing our I, and we are continuing. So that's the first step. Another one, if that is not if our stack is not empty, so what we do, we are taking whatever we have at the top of our stack, right? The function that currently executes, right? So we are taking that and we are splitting that. So we are splitting that to the ID start and the time of the time unit right here. So we are splitting that, and we have a current function, and also we have a new function. We are taking whatever the current value in the logs, right? So whatever value we are processing from the logs at the moment. So what we do, so first one is that we are checking that if the value from the new function, right, that we took from the log, if that is equals to end. So if that is equals to end, so what it means? It means that we need to that function, whatever is in the stack, that function completed its work. So what we do, so we are calculating the execution time. So how exactly we are doing that? So we are taking whatever the new function, right? So for the new function, so which means that whatever the value we took from the logs, right? So for example, let's instead of that, let's go with this example. I think that it will be more clear. So for example, let's start with this one. Let's say that we are taking the first value that we are taking here is, so we are taking 0 start and the 0, right? So we are taking 0 start and the 0, so we are adding that to it's the first one, so we are adding that to our stack. And the second one, we are taking the second value, right? So we are taking the second value. Again, we took the current function. Current function is what? Current function is the function with the ID of 0. And the new function that we took is that the function with the ID 1. So we are checking that if it's a start or end. If it's not end, so it starts. So what we are doing here? What we are doing here is we are calculating first how much this function, how much the current function executed, right? How much the current function executed. So in this case, the current function executed 2 time units. So which means that, so we are taking the value new function 2, the value for the new function 2, which means that for 1, right? So we are taking the 1 minus 0, so we are adding that we have executed 1 time unit, right? So we are adding to our with the ID 0, right? So to the result with the ID 0, we are adding that whatever time is elapsed. So in this case, with 2 time units is elapsed, so we are taking that the new function minus current function 2, which means that the 2 minus 0, right? 2 minus 0 will give us what? Will give us 2. So we are adding 2 to the ID with the ID 0, right? So we are adding to the function with the ID 0. So we are adding 2. We are adding 2 time points, right? At this point, so what we have? So at this point, what we have is we have for the function with the ID of 0, we have time to 2 time units that is executed, so we are adding that. That's the first one. So then what else we need to do? Since we have already counted that, we are taking our current function, so whatever we have, and we are updating that value. Now the start time is not the start time here is not the 0, but in this case 2, because we have already counted that towards our execution, right? So that time is here 2, so we are updating this value. So now it becomes 0 start and 2, right? And we are taking the previous value, taking the 0 start and the 0, and pushing the updated value 0 start and the 2 we are pushing to our stack, and also we are pushing the new value, right? So we are pushing the new value, which means that the ID with the the function with the ID 1, we are also pushing that to our log. That's the first one, right? So we have processed, so far we have processed this one, and then we have processed this one. Now we have here at this point, right? At this point, what we have here is, at this point, what we have for the 0, we have 2 time units, and for the 1, we have 0 time units, right? We haven't added anything. So now let's go further. Now let's go to the next one, right? So next one is, again, we are checking the 1, and we are taking the next log. We are taking the next log, and what we have in the next log. What we have in the next log is that it's end, right? So it's end, so we are going to this if statement. So here what we do, we are taking the execution time. So we are taking what's the execution time here? Execution time here is basically whatever the new function is, that 5, right? 5 minus whatever the current function, because now at this point on top of our stack is this function, right? With the ID of 1. So we are taking the 5 minus 2 gives us 3, right? Gives us 3. But at this point we have executed 4, so we need to also include 5, right? So we have executed 4 time units. So that's why we are taking the new function 2, which means that the 5 minus 2 plus 1, so plus 1. So we are taking that, and what we do is we are adding that to our result, right? So we are adding that to our result. Now at this point, so what we have for the 1, right? So for the 1, the value becomes 4. We are updating here the value, and we are taking that from the stack. So we are taking that from the stack, and now what we are checking? What we are checking is if our stack is not empty, right? In this case, it's not. So in our stack, we have only one. We have only one with the one function with the value of 0, right? Start, and 2, right? That we have updated. So we are taking that value. So we are taking, now we need to update that value, right? That we need to update that value to what? We need to update that value to 5, right? So we need to update that value to 5. So what we are doing? So we are taking the previous function, splitting that, and we are taking the new value in this case, right? So in this case, the new value is new function 2, which means that the 5 plus 1. Why plus 1? Because we are the next function will start, which means that this function, right? The function with the ID of 0, it will start from the next time unit, right? So that's why we are adding here 1, and we are updating that value. So we are updating that value and we are taking that from the stack, and we are adding the new one with the 0, right? 0 and the 2, right? So 0 and the 2. So we are adding 0 and the 6, right? 0 and the 6, so with the updated value. So now let's go to the last one. So we have processed this one, we have processed this one, we have processed this one, and now we are going to the last one. Now we are taking the last one, right? Now we are taking the last one, and we are again checking that's the end. If that is the end, then we are taking that. We are taking the value of the current function. What's the current function? The value of the current function is 6, right? So 6 minus 6 gives us 0. 0 plus 1 gives us 1. So we are adding the value here, right? So we are adding the value here, and since our stack is at this point, so we are popping this value, and since our stack is here empty, so we are just skipping this part, and at the end we have the array with the size of the 3 and the 4, right? So with the size of the 3 and the 4, and that's it. At the end we are just returning the result. Again, to wrap up what we did here, right? So we basically solution, it's a bit a lot of code is here, but the solution wise it's pretty straightforward. So what we do, we are creating a stack, and we are adding our whatever the function is executing, we are adding that to our stack. If we are taking, if the new function starts, then it means that we need to count that time that have executed but by that function, we need to count that towards the time units, right? That's why we have added here 2. Then in the next one, right? So for the function 1, so it executed 4 time units. We need to count that towards that function, and at the end we need to also update we need to add the time that is executed by the function with the ID of 0. We need to add that also to the time units that is executed by the function 0. So again, we are progressing over our logs because logs are consecutive, right? They come one after another, so it's a timestamp. So we are going one log after another, and once if it's end, we are updating the value. We are also updating, besides updating the value of the current function, also we are updating the value of the previous function that comes before it. Okay, that's it. Hope it's clear. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you like my content. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye.